lanzamiento, aquí viene un batazo de Mundito entre right center field, la bola pica, se extiende, viene anotando Stott, empata el juego, también manda para la bola Turner anota y los Phillies se van arriba. Se prepara, Mundito en segunda, el lanzamiento, batazo profundo para el center field, la bola se va, Schwarber Bob, ¡campanazo! Aquí viene el lanzamiento, swing y lo ponchó. Ponche de Alvarado, amigos. Hello. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Phillies Weekly. Pretty eventful week. 3 games in Houston that are forgettable. I mean, on one end, from a hitting standpoint, our pitching was completely out of this world. Our pitching this week has been incredible. Jeff, we go 2-4 week, an interesting week, and we started the week 1 game ahead of the Mets. Now we're 1.5 games ahead of the Mets. How about that? I love it. 2 in the loss column, but yes. So, look, it is what it is. It's hard to heat. It's hard to hit Framber Valdez. We all know that. It's hard. This team struggles against lefties. It's everything you thought about this.
Hunter Brown was completely lights out. I mean, it was incredible.
Yeah, anything that you thought about this team skeptically came true in that Houston series. But you know what? This is the problem. Everybody wants to focus on the negative. Let's focus on the positive. They beat the Atlanta Braves 2-3. I didn't think they were going to do that.
Absolutely. I mean, look, it was a very interesting series with Atlanta. Again, similar to last weekend with the Mets, where we blow out. I mean, it was 6-1 yesterday, but we beat them 13-1. I mean, I'm tired of the rainouts, man. Having to wait almost 3 hours. Again, 2 hours and 19 minutes this time. Last time was 2 hours and 45 minutes in Atlanta. I mean, they need a roof in that stadium down in Atlanta with all that rain.
Look, you know how long I waited? I didn't, because I was going to skip Friday's game to go see the F1 movie, and I saw the F1 movie, and I get back, and guess what? I didn't miss anything. So
it's your fault. Well, Jeff, we have 3 wonderful guesses. 2 are starting off right now. Let's bring them in. Anthony SanFilippo is in the house. On Patterson is in the house. And also Daubert from Phillies Nation. Later on, we're going to have Tyler Poitras from Phillies Tailgate. I mean, this is going to be a pretty fun show. Look, I brought a lot of things, guys, for you. I mean, we're going to talk about the series. We're going to talk about the first half, our grades. That's going to be very, very interesting. And the most interesting part when Tyler joins us is the second half predictions. How about that? Love it. We're in first place. I mean, guys, welcome to Phillies Weekly. Anthony, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing great, Oscar. You know, I got to tell you, just off the top here, when I was young, because of how lyrical my name is, I always dreamed that Harry Callis would announce my name in some capacity on a broadcast. I never got to have that happen, but to hear you do my name coming in, that's as close as I'm ever going to get.
I thought we were going to get Tom McCarthy saying
Filippo, welcome to Phillies Weekly. Ty, how are you, man? It's a pleasure to have you here, Anthony. Ty, how are you, brother?
Thanks.
I'm good. Kind of like Jeff mentioned, if you have this negative outlook on the Phillies, this week gave you a lot you can agree with, I guess, with the way the offense was, but the starting pitching continues to be unbelievable, and I think we'll get into that with our grades and everything, but I think it's important to take a step back, look at this starting pitching, and it's one of the best that Philadelphia has ever seen. It's right up there, maybe a step below the 2011 rotation, but it looks a little bit like that. It's pretty spectacular.
I mean, let's bring kind of some of the things. So we are 49-35, a game and a half on the Mets. Last week it was 1 game. We're a game and a half ahead of them now, 10.5 ahead of Atlanta. Now we've surpassed Atlanta in the season series. we're still behind the Mets 2-4 because they swept us in that ugly place up there in New York, Citi Field, which believe me, I don't enjoy going to. But look, it's we're in the game. I mean, right now, I'm going to show the stats in the National League East where we're 16-12 against the National League East. Believe it or not, the Marlins have won the last 7 games. They won the last 7 games in a row. Explain that to me for a second. I think they are half a game behind the Braves, just for perspective, because this game did not include the Marlins. I did it after our game, so it did not include the Marlins. I think they ended up beating the Diamondbacks. Did that happen, Ty? Do you know if that happened at the end? They were winning by 2 runs in the 9th inning.
Not sure. I didn't catch it.
I'll look at it in a second. But look, anything that surprised you guys? I mean, after that awful, 1 run in Houston, that was painful, guys. Painful as you wouldn't imagine.
Well, it's funny, Oscar. You already mentioned it. You already talked about the fact that they went 2-4 on the road trip and came back up, further ahead of the Mets than they were when they started the trip. If you want to just add to that, they played 6 games, did not hit at all in 5 of them, and still have a bigger lead coming back home this week. That's how crazy this sport is.
It's crazy. By the way, the Marlins that win, they have won 7 in a row, and they're half a game behind the Braves. Who can explain this?
It's hard to take the Braves seriously right now when the Marlins are right on their heels. I know we keep saying they're going to come back, but the Phillies they keep putting them in their place. They actually gained 2 games on the Braves in the loss column this month.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Looking at this, how we have consistently looked at it over the last few weeks. When we don't score 4 runs, we score 8.3 runs, including the 13 runs we had on Saturday. We ended up the week 283. Every time we lose the week, we don't score 4 runs. 250, 350, 350, 3.5, 2.7, 2.8, we lose the week. That's a consistent theme. As you said, Jeff, I think the most meaningful part is that we beat 2 out of 3 out of Atlanta. That is huge. And that we lost, to Houston. I guess I don't look at it positive in the sense that could be the preview of the World Series. It wouldn't be surprise anybody if Houston, that is playing like crazy right now, they are in the World Series together with the Phillies. So that could be a World Series scenario there. And believe me, losing 3 games there at, I don't know, it's not called Minute Maid Park now, Daubert Stadium. It's not.
It's still Enron to me. It's still Enron.
Yeah, I still call it Enron Field.
let me pull the sheet from this week. From the game to see. I forgot the name. Dowking Park is called now. They're paying the bill. So here's kind of where we are in general: 49-35, 5-5 our last 10 games, 11-9 our last 20, 15-15 our last 30, and we're gaining ground. And it's been kind of a roller coaster in the National League East. We're 16-12, but we were down 4 games, or we were down 5.5 games. We were up 4 games, then we were down 5.5, then now we're up 1.5. It's been a roller coaster together with the Mets. Now the Mets are what had predicted in the beginning of the year, that they were going to have issues with their starting pitching. As soon as Senga went down, this team completely have gone south. Megel have gotten hurt. Now they lost Canning, which was one of the pitchers that was pitching well in the beginning of the year. Montas pitched for the second time today, and the Pittsburgh Pirates just swept them. So the Pirates swept us, and they swept them.
Listen, the Pittsburgh Pirates, just for a note here, they're 15-11 this year against the National League East, right? They are 20-39 against everyone else. If the Pirates were in the National League East, they'd be the biggest challenge to the Phillies.
They're 15-9 since the managerial change. It's crazy how I know everybody. We all kind of downplay managerial changes, but we should know better than anybody. When the Phillies changed managers 3 years ago, they went on to the World Series.
Well, before everybody talks about Topper, you guys have to wait and look at the grade we gave to managing and coaching for the team. So let's not talk about Daubert at this point. But again, 26-14 at home, 23-21 away. This number has been going up and down. I mean, we were up like 7 or 8 games ahead in the away, but now we're 2 games above 500 away. We're 1 of 4, or we were. I haven't looked at it in the last week, but we were 1 of 4 teams that had a positive, more than an above 500 record in away games in the National League. Just to give you some perspective of the parity of what's going on in baseball. March 3-1, April 14-12, 19-9 in May, 13-13 in the month of June, 5-4 in extra innings, 15-10 in 1-run games, including today's game. 39-21 against righties, and this 10 includes Framber Valdez and the things he's done to us lately. So just keeping that in mind. And then who pitched for Atlanta yesterday?
Spencer Schwellenbach.
Schwellenbach. By the way, what a great that kid has a great arm. I mean, he's a tremendous athlete. Has a great arm. But we're 39-21 against right-handed pitching. Here's where we are in series. I said that I would add this this week. 18-8-1 in series. And then our run differential have remained basically flat from last week at around 39.
You forgot to update that one, Oscar. It's actually 46.
Oh, is it?
Or plus 46.
Oh, it is 46. 386, and well, I have the right numbers. I just have the wrong.
Yeah, I was gonna say the
wrong
numbers
addition.
right.
Sorry, guys. I mean,
math is hard.
So yeah, math is hard, guys. Sorry. When you
Use
got
a
too many
calculator.
numbers, I'm telling you guys. By the way, he's suspended for 2 programs. Hey guys, this one I did update it, which was this is what happened without Harper. This looked very ugly after Houston. We were 10-6 before Houston. Now we're 12-10 after this week, complete week, with Aaron Nola 24-17 and without Alvarado 22-17. I just think these are interesting numbers to keep understanding where we are now. One thing that is real is since Harper, this was before the Atlanta series, this team, our average, and I have it on the next slide. We were averaging 4.7 runs, and we were 6th in baseball when Harper left. Look at what happened over the last few weeks. 4.6 runs. We've been averaging 4.1 runs without Harper. So, I mean, not having Harper in the lineup, I mean, and as expected, right? It significantly generates, and it's being offset by the great job our starting pitching has been doing. That's kind of the reality of things. Here's where we are in OPS. We're 9th. You see here 4 weeks ago we were 6th. Now we're 9th. The issue with home runs continues, and now without Harper is even more accentuated. I think about 4 weeks ago we were projecting 50 home runs less. Now we're projecting around 30. I ran the numbers just a few minutes ago. So we're projecting around 198 home runs on the year, and we had like 200 and something last year. So it's about 30 home runs, our projections for the year. 9th in strikeouts in baseball, which is okay. And based on both 8th, and I added 2 numbers. We had the runners in scoring position before we were 24th. We were adding, and I wanted to add a couple of numbers here so we can start tracking it now. Number 1, our chase rate. We're 22nd in baseball. We always talk about chase rate. What's happening with Castellanos chasing out of the strike zone. Turner looks better this year. I'll show you where each player is, but Turner is significantly better in chase rate than last year. And look, that's why he's hitting the way he's hitting, and he's probably going to make the All-Star game. And then our whiff rate is at 25.3, 16th in baseball. Anything in here surprise you guys?
Not really. I think the home runs kind of being middle of the pack is what you would expect. It's
worrisome. It's worrisome.
Yeah, they're especially out of the middle of the order. Like they're not getting some of the power threats like you would hope with Harper out. It's only more obvious. So yeah, that's nothing too surprising, but that's the one that sticks out, I would say.
Yeah, we're always saying that. We're always using the expression that that we're slugging, that we're a slug team, and we're going to slug. I think last year we were seventh in home run, sixth or seventh in home run. This year we're projecting at 16. I know we were down in the beginning of the year, and we hit more home runs in the second part of the year. I think one of Anthony's projection is that we're going to be number one in home runs the rest of the way, right? A lot of Schwarber bombs.
No, I don't think so. I do think they'll have a small uptick, and that obviously with Harper coming back, that will help. I do think a couple of guys will have a better second half than first half as far as home runs. But the number that's interesting to me, and I'm glad you put the chase rate in, Oscar, because as of about, I don't know, a month ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, they were a better than league average team in chase rate, which was a surprise because the Phillies historically, with this group in the last few years, have been chasing a lot of pitches out of the zone. And then in the beginning of the season, they did a real nice job of not chasing, and they weren't chasing as much. And if you go back and look at where they were, I'll just spitball and say end of May, they were better than league average. I think they were in the top 10. They might have been just outside, might have been 11th, whatever it was. So in the month of June, they've been chasing the ball a lot more to fall all the way down to 22nd in the league now, because that means that they're fishing it a little bit for balls. And I wonder if a lot of that is this when Topper says it, and I know people get tired of hearing it, but when he says, they're trying to do too much, when you take Bryce Harper out of the equation and guys are trying to make up for his kind of production, that's where the propensity to maybe swing at pitches that you shouldn't be swinging at out of the zone because you're trying to make up for the lack of offense in Harper has come in. And I think that they've been chasing a lot more in June. They got to get back to what they were doing in April and May, because if they're going to be like this the rest of the way, they're going to run into the same problems in October that they ran into last year.
Particularly if they're not hitting home runs to offset some of the chasing that they're doing.
Right.
I mean, that is critical. Just for perspective, the average in MLB in chase rate is 28.0%. The number one team, believe it or not, and this is to me to be very surprising. The number one, guess who is the number one team with a lower percentage of chase rate?
Is it Washington?
Huh?
Is it Washington?
No, the Yankees. The Yankees.
Oh.
Number one, Yankees. Number two, Cincinnati. Number three, San Francisco. That doesn't surprise me. Or LA, which is fourth, or Milwaukee, which we know they are contact hitting teams. But I mean, what that chase rate speaks is the word discipline.
Right.
Is the word discipline, and being 22nd in baseball out of 30 teams is not a good number.
Well, the problem is
they need to improve.
Yeah, the problem is you can't teach an old dog new tricks. And I mean, look, I'm not going to slam Nick Castellanos under the bus here, but when you have the see ball, hit ball approach, you're probably going to be chasing a lot of pitches.
That's the unfortunate reality of kind of where we are. That's kind of where we are when hitting. Here is kind of the mouthful chart that I always put you guys, and I'll go full screen for the next couple of slides so you guys can take a look at it. But here's kind of where we are for the year. So Schwarber, Harper, and Turner lead the way above, not significantly, but above the percentage of OPS. This is looking at OPS as the main measure. Castellanos and Alec Bohm follow kind of within the OPS average range, and then everybody else is below. And look, Mr. Max Kepler, with all due respect, you don't talk about wanting to have more play time where the way you're hitting, I mean, not against righties and lefties. And I'll show you the numbers momentarily. Here is what's happened in the last 2 weeks. So we saw a lot of hitting. I mean, I probably should not have put Wilson there, but you see Kyle Schwarber leading the way. Castellanos was hitting good. Sosa. You saw Trey Turner. You look at Rafael Marchand there, which, I mean, he had like 10 at-bats. And then you see Alec Bohm. I mean, that was a surge. And then kind of in the mid-range, you see Otto Kemp beginning to pop up. By the way, Otto Kemp, I like that kid. I like what that kid has, and that kid is going to be an asset for this team, particularly probably this year coming out of the bench. That would be my guess. But he's a nice-looking hitter. I mean, what he did today, he won us the game. Let's put it that way. I mean, outside of Ranger, he was very, very special. But then take a look at this week. I mean, look at how the red comes up. So the only guys above, I mean, I'll exclude Marchand with 4 at-bats, but Kyle Schwarber and Turner carrying the way, Otto Kemp third, and then everybody else is in the red, way below the average of OPS, which is 715. I mean, I mean, this is 4.0. I mean, that's where we need 4 runs. You ain't going to do it hitting the way we hit this week. I mean,
I'm concerned about a lot of things on this team, Oscar. And, I'll start with Max Kepler. I agree with you. I just don't think he should be saying what he's saying right now. Like, oh, I thought I was going to be playing. Well, you kind of are playing every day. I think when he said that, he was playing 61 of 82 games. Like, you're playing enough. They don't trust you against lefties, period. We saw that the first week or 2 of the season. And they just pretty much – and look, Otto Kemp has unseated him in left field as a platoon guy. And they've been playing Weston Wilson before that. So let's move on from that. The other one before I let you guys dive into it.
Yeah, no, let me show you the next 2 slides because it's Phillies hitters versus righties. So versus righties, Schwarber, of course, Schwarber hits against everybody. You see Schwarber, Harper, actually Realmuto has been above the average on OPS against righty, but he's been, I mean, absolutely, I mean, crazy numbers versus lefty this year. I mean, it's something that is concerning. You see Castellanos and kind of Alec Bohm kind of in the middle of the pack, and then everybody else, even Max Kepler at 692. Again, the average in MLB is anywhere between 715 and 720, depending on the day that number fluctuates. But 692, I mean, against right-handed hitting. Look, you're not hitting against lefties or righties, and I mean, he's at 608 versus left-handed pitching. I mean, this is a problem. Schwarber is incredible, man. Schwarber against lefties. I mean, he had 12 home runs against lefties, and he has 13 home runs against righties as of right now.
Schwarber has as many home runs against left-handed pitching this year as he did last year already.
Yeah, and with 105 at bats against lefties and 250 or 200 at bats against righties. I mean, this guy is. This guy's incredible. I mean, to say the least. So look, the reality here, I mean, Max Kepler, you want to play full time? I mean, don't tell me you've had 46 at bat against lefties. They allow. I mean, he's looked awful in this series. I mean, the series versus Atlanta, he looked awful, and I don't even want to show you. And look, I like the guy; he's a wonderful guy. But with runners in a scoring position, I mean, my God,
he's in under 200.
Yes.
There are plenty of reasons why this guy is not playing. Let's just put that.
There is no. I mean, so look, and I thought. I mean, Rob Thompson managed how he manages everything with a lot of elegance, but I mean, you cannot be speaking that you want to be a full-time player when you're not delivering against righties or lefties. I mean, in the opportunities you've had. Look, I learned a long time ago if you want to have playing time, go out and show it. And is your time to show it, my friend. Okay. So
Oscar, here's the thing I think, right? You talked about Otto Kemp and you mentioned how, he's going to be a nice player for the Phillies off the bench. Just going to throw this out there because I like these hypotheticals, like to make you think a little bit, like you make you say, that's something. When Bryce comes back, if it's tomorrow, it's tomorrow. If it's later this week, whatever. When Bryce comes back, do you just play Otto Kemp in left field and just say he's the regular left fielder now? Max Kepler, you're on the bench. Like I'm at that.
I mean,
there's a couple conundrums at play, by the way, here, Anthony. We want to go a little further into this.
Yeah, I mean, I'm at that point though, Jeff. Like I really am. Like Max Kepler hasn't shown me anything, and he's a little bit of a malcontent now. That's the only thing he's shown us. So why keep putting him out there? Why keep trotting him out there when Harper comes back? Play Otto Kemp.
I like what I see in Otto Kemp. I see Otto Kemp. I see kind of like an Orion Kirkering, that kid that is coming up, given an opportunity, and he's taking full advantage of what is being given to him. I mean,
this is the question I have. If they bring up Justin Crawford. Where does Otto Kemp fit when Bryce Harper comes back?
Well, then he's a bench player.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Then he's a bench player, right? If you're doing all that, if there's other machinations, then yes, obviously he becomes your best bat off the bench, right? So be it.
Or maybe he's a guy that gives everybody a day off. Like one day he plays third, one day he plays first, one day he plays left, etc.
Super utility kind of
Look,
thing.
I know people are talking about bringing Justin Crawford, and should the Phillies bring Justin Crawford or not. Look, I'm not going to make any decisions or any answers. The reality is this team is 11th. This team is 11th in hitting, producing runs per game. And we know that it's not slugging the way it needs to slug. It needs to provide better hitting. You need better hitting. Look, Turner has done a great job, and Schwarber has done a great job, and Harper hasn't heated up yet to the way we know Harper is capable of heating up. Alec Bohm started very bad, and now he's becoming a much better hitter. We need more consistency from the starts. March it looks like he's beginning to hit better. Now the question, you bring Crawford in. I don't want Crawford in the bench.
Well, no, he won't be on the bench.
That's what I'm saying. He needs to play every day. Now, what do you do with March? What do you know? I mean, probably Rojas goes down. That's my guess. I mean, what are you going to do with March, and what are you going to do with Kepler?
I put Marsh in left. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, I mean, you probably go to a Marsh Kemp platoon in
and
left
then what do
field.
you do with Kemp? I mean, a March Kemp platoon. Got you.
Yeah.
Marsh and Kemp is the platoon in left, in my mind.
And then you sit Kepler.
What if you DFA him? I mean, they did it to Whit Merrifield last year. Same
around this time too,
right?
Yeah. One more point about Kemp to Anthony's idea, just maybe playing him every day in left. You know, he's not a glove first kind of player, and just see what you have in left field. He didn't play there a ton in the minors, hasn't played there a ton in the majors so far. Just see how it goes. But the fit issue is the team needs right-handed hitting in the outfield, and he kind of fits that mold. He would be able to, in theory, maybe be able to supply that right-handed power. He hit a lot of homers in the minors, just got his first one in the majors. But some of this goes down to, and we'll get into the roster construction as part of our grades. And of course, I agree with you guys that Kepler hasn't shown enough to play every day because he just hasn't produced. But at the same time, the Phillies signed this guy, a left-handed hitter, going into the season, knowing that they needed a right-handed hitter. They went with a left-handed hitter and declared him publicly. The president of baseball operations, Dave Dombrowski, said publicly they were going to sign him to play every day. And he is producing basically the same as last season. So it's almost like, what else did they expect? They signed a left-handed hitter and who had a down year last year, and he's basically been the same. So I know he doesn't have a lot of room to talk, but what else did you expect almost if he's just producing the same way as last year? So I think going with Kemp helps you switch that up and maybe provides a little bit more of the right fit in what you need in the lineup.
And this is where I'll side with Kepler. If the Phillies promised him, and they did say publicly, you're right, Ty, that he's going to be the everyday left fielder, I guarantee you Max Kepler had other offers from other teams to do the exact same thing, and he chose the contender. So, I would
and at
probably
the same
be
time,
upset.
you do have to hit. Like, if you're going to hit the way he has so far this season, you're not going to play for a team that wants to win the division and win a World Series.
Look, you play whomever's hot. Tyler, how are you, man?
Hey, I'm doing well, Oscar. How are you?
Philly Stelgate is in the house. Phil Stelgate, there's the man. So look at that. Look at the beauty. On Patterson, Phillies Nation, Stelgate, CBS Sports, of course. Jeff, sorry, man. Sorry.
You don't have to announce my outlet here. These guys are the superstars.
I know. I was just kidding. By the way, who wants to answer that question? Because I don't. I mean, it's an interesting question that I don't know if we have the answers to.
I mean, I don't know if it's tomorrow night. I think it's a real possibility it's tomorrow night. But if it's not tomorrow night, it's this week.
Is it July-ish?
It's July. It's July-ish. We're now in July-ish, right?
July-ish. Well,
yeah, it could be June. Tomorrow is the last day of June.
We'll talk about Painter momentarily, but I mean, July-ish could be a complicated dynamic there as well. But look, from my view, and I do understand that we're producing 4.1 runs per game without Harper, than with Harper, which we were producing at a 4.8 clip or so. My point of view is the following: the health of Harper in the second half is more important than bringing him. I would say I would rest him until the All-Star game. Now you cannot rest him because you threw him out there and you threw pitchers and you threw everything. But I would personally have rested him until the All-Star game, and then ramp him up and then get ready for the real thing, which is how he's going to build his legacy. And everyone that is here would like things to happen, which is win the World Series. So that's my personal view, and I know it's kind of unique, but to me, health is the most important thing. So. No comments. Okay, good. No problem. That's good.
I mean, what else was to say?
No. I mean, the reality. Look, this guy. If we want to win the World Series, this guy needs to be front and center.
He does.
Yeah.
And his health is paramount. I don't want Harper. I don't know how much it hampered him in October last year. But he said that he had to wait 2 months to be able to get healthy.
I mean, he was in pain going into the playoffs. He told us when they won the division. Like, he talked to a couple of us. And I think Anthony was there. He said he was in pain. And you knew it was going to be a problem. And I think he's more frustrated it came back than anything else because he thought this was in the past.
Yeah. Well, let's go a couple more things here. And I won't spend too much time. But this is a pretty important slide because it shows – kind of where we are and the needs of this team that need to be addressed, and the need for Dombrowski to go out and do what he needs to do. So very, very interesting things, right? So we are fourth in total wins in baseball, tied with the Cubs at 49. Our starting pitching have won the fourth most games. Our relievers have won the 15th most games, and we're number one in save opportunities, and we're number 3 in save. Now, take a look at this. Very interesting. So last week we were 6. Our starting pitching was 6 in ERA. We're second in baseball behind the Texas Rangers, 3.30 ERA. Now the Mets are way below that because of all the issues they're having with the starting pitching. And then here are some of the other dynamics, including number 1 in all of baseball striking out. So look, our starting pitching is the heart and soul of this team. This team have lived this first half. And whatever success we've had so far is due to our starting pitching, no doubt. Now look where our relief pitching is. Even though we were at 264, I don't think they had enough opportunities this week with all the great pitching we had, and we continue to be 25th in all of baseball in ERA, and that needs to improve. And then look at the amount of 42 save opportunities, 26 saves in total for the year. So there is 16 games that we've had the opportunity to save, including some this week that we have not been able to save.
You know what was concerning to me today, Oscar? And look, I know Matt Strom got the save, got the 3 outs he needed, but that 9th inning showed you why they need another arm in the back end of that bullpen. Outside of Ryan Kerkering, I just don't know who they trust right now because Jordan Romano showed I don't think he's getting any better. So what do you do?
I mean, you need arms. I mean, you need a couple arms. You need at least 2 arms. Why? Because Alvarado's not coming. I mean, Alvarado will not be pitching in the postseason. So you're going to need 2 arms. I mean, it's simple as that. 2 high leverage arms with experience. I mean, the name of Chapman is out there. I mean, pretty much consistency. I think. I mean, when I look at the Red Sox, the Red Sox are still in the battle for the wild card. I mean, let me see how many games they're behind. They're what? The Red Sox are 3 games behind in the wild card. I mean, in the American League, the only teams that you would consider to be truly out, it will be the White Sox, the Athletics, and maybe the Orioles. The Orioles are 7 games behind. I probably would consider them. And one team that surprises me that is not playing better are the Royals. I mean, the Royals are 3-7 in the last 10 games. They have great pitching. That team, I mean, their starting pitching is absolutely filthy.
They got a pretty good closer too, I heard.
Yeah, so it's I mean,
you know where I was going with that, right?
Yeah, Esteves. Your friend Esteves is there. You're something else, man. I'm telling you. But look, there is teams. There is the Angels are 2 games behind. The Rangers are 2.5 games. The Guardians are 2.5 games. The Red Sox are 3. The Twins are 3 games behind on the wild card. The Royals are 4.5, and the Orioles are 7. Look, I don't think the Orioles are going anywhere. It is a slightly more clear in the National League, where the Rockies are out, the Pirates are out, the Nationals are 11.5 games behind, the Marlins are 8.5, and the Braves are 8. The Diamonds are 5 games. But with all these numbers, I always look at the eye test, right? Which are the teams that are truly, and somehow chemistry, there's a big issue around chemistry. And you could go back and you could say, look, Oscar, in 2022, we never expected the Phillies to make it to the World Series. I mean, it's the reality that we'll face. So it's pretty interesting. Tyler, any thoughts on as you see this?
Yeah, I think the big thing too with going back to the relief pitching is, you don't really trust anyone but Kerkering right now. But you just really have to make it to the deadline, because if you're going to try to get someone now, you'll just have to overpay, and it's just not going to be worth it. So, I kind of like what they're doing right now with shifting through some of these minor league relievers and trying to see if any of them can stick. Because I think ultimately, if you end up getting a few arms, you have some guys coming from the rotation to the bullpen in the postseason, we'll be fine. But it just kind of feels like a survival mode right now in the bullpen.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, our dear friend Alan Rangel came to a rescue on Friday.
What a performance!
Yeah, what a performance! I mean, he doesn't. I mean, he doesn't look. I mean, he did what he needed to do. He ate us the innings that we needed him to eat us. So here's our pitching for the year. Here's where I always like to do pitching for the last 2 weeks. So the beauty, I mean, beyond Rangel and Roberts, I mean, as you said, Tyler, that they did a nice job. I mean, Wheeler, 0 last 2 weeks, last 3 starts, 0.53 ERA. He's a monster. I mean, he's a monster. Ranger Suarez, 125. Christopher Sanchez, 129. Last 2 weeks. Orion Kerkering, 169. Max Lazard, 1.0. Tanner Bank, 3. And then Luzardo at 324. And then everybody else above 5.
How's this team holding 500 in June?
I mean, yeah, 500.
Well, I saw a stat that it was like the last 6 games, starting pitchers on the Phillies gave up 6 runs, and we went 2-4. So
it's insane. I mean, Ranger has allowed 9 runs on the last 10 starts. Guys, 9 runs in 10 starts. That's unheard of. I mean, 10 starts. I mean, that guy is incredible. Talking about Ranger, look at that. I knew he was coming. I knew he was coming. So Ranger today, 7 innings versus the Braves, 4 hits. And by the way, he was not in his best form. He was not feeling it the way he normally feels it. And take a look at what this guy did. I mean, 8 strikeouts, 1 base on balls. I don't know, guys. I mean, if this guy doesn't come back, I'm gonna miss this dude. What a pitcher. What a pitcher.
I really don't want him to leave. I said that earlier in the week. I kind of want him.
What do you do, Jeff? What do you do? How do you keep him?
I don't know. He finds a way to keep him.
I mean, and he just there's no way if he resembles this in any way that you can justify once the playoffs come around or September comes around. You can't put him in the bullpen. He's too good. He's pitching just one of the best starting pitchers in all of baseball. He looks like the way he did during the first half of last season. And I guess there's always that concern: is he going to be able to stay healthy, because he's had these sort of run-ins? But if he looks like this, like when he's healthy, he's a different look than most pitchers in baseball. He's kind of a throwback in that way, and I think it throws hitters off balance with the way that he's able to throw all these different pitches, put it exactly where he wants. And it's been said a million times. He's cool as can be. Nothing bothers him. He's a different kind of pitcher. And when he's going, I don't know if anybody's more fun to watch, the way he feels his position, the way that he commands, everything like that. It's really, really impressive.
And I know that Topper is pushing him probably more than he should in terms of the innings, because of the challenge that we have on the bullpen. So hopefully, I mean, there is the option of going to a 6-man rotation to try to put a little bit less of a burden on these guys in the second half. I know Wheeler would not be happy with that because he's trying to win the Cy Young. But, I mean, look, the reality is that we need to be careful, and particularly with arms like Ranger. I'll give you the two names, Ranger and Luzardo. They both have a history of issues. So those two arms, don't overdo them because it's going to cost you. Now, you have to do it today because it's such an important game against the Braves, and it's a must game, or you have to do it against the Mets because you're playing with the division. But Ranger has been, I mean, an incredible pitcher.
You know, Oscar, I'm glad you mentioned the Wheeler thing, like, you know, with adjusting the rotation or maybe a 6-man. There is a way you can get away with that over the next couple of weeks because of this weird schedule quirk where you don't play on a Thursday till August 14th. So you could work your way around that.
So you're saying that we should move Phillies Weekly to Thursday now?
I mean, Thursday might be an ideal night for the next 6 weeks.
Okay. We'll consider that. We'll consider that.
But Jeff makes a good point, Oscars, and I think that, you know, when you look at what they could do with a 6-man rotation, you can keep Wheeler on his schedule and not throw things off because you have the luxury of that quirky schedule where there's a Thursday night off every week. And so because of that, you can rejigger the rotation every time Wheeler's due up.
Mm-hmm.
And
he did this week too.
On regular rest.
They wanted to separate the lefties, so he did it, and look, it worked this week. I mean, by the way, we haven't said the name Christopher Sanchez. I mean, that guy on, what was it, Thursday? Oh my, 11 strikeout, no base on balls.
He's only been their third best pitcher with an ERA under 2.
I mean, you saw it. I mean, you saw it. Look at this. 0.53 Zach Wheeler, Ranger 125, and Christopher Sanchez 129. Who in baseball has 3 starters like this?
Sanchez, I think, because he made the jump last year to All-Star, it's gone under the radar. He's gotten even better this year. It's almost in like this nonchalant fashion where you look at his stats and it's like, wow, Christopher Sanchez is even better than he was the last 2 seasons. I don't know. I don't know if you can put like any expectation on how good he can get. He just seems to keep taking these jumps every single year, each of the last 3 seasons.
I'll tell you two things, and I love Anthony's perspective on this. Number one, he addressed the issue of pitching away from Citizens Bank Park. I mean, he has, I don't know, I had the, let me see here. Is this the one that he pitched? No, this is the Mick Cable one. Let's see. Christopher Sanchez. He prior to the last game, in his career, he was 9-10, 4.12 ERA. This year, 4-2, 254. And at home, he's at 3.24. So he's almost 0.7 points below his ERA this year. So he addressed the issue that he can pitch.
They might do the opposite effect in October. Remember, he had to pitch game 2 because he was so much better at home last year. Now you might say, oh, Christopher Sanchez, you're going to go pitch game 3 because you're a beast on the road.
And Anthony, explain this to me. When I look, he throws 3 pitches, right? He throws his sinker, his change, and his slider. 48%, 36% his changeup, and 16%. And we know his changeup is a 44.6% whiff, which is kind of best in one of the best in baseball. But his sinker, which is the second of the pitches that he uses in Moch, they hit 307 against him. How can you have a pitch that they hit 307 against you and be as effective as he has been?
Yeah, it's an interesting question, Oscar. I wish I had a great answer for you, but I don't.
You know it all, dude. Come on.
No, well, the only thing I can think of is, you know, batters are going to sit there and go, all right, look, that changeup, we're not hitting it. So we're hoping to kind of, you know, they don't lay off it all the time. Obviously, he gets a lot of whiffs on it. But when you're looking for, if you think you're going to get something that's a little bit more of a fastball type pitch, maybe you're sitting there saying, okay, recognize that out of his hand. That's the one we're going to attack. And maybe because they know that they're going to struggle against the changeup, they're being more aggressive against the sinker. And that's the only thing I can give you. And I'm not telling you that's the 100% the reason.
Yeah, but they're gonna sit on the fastball and try to get it early in the count,
Yeah.
and his ability to like Ranger, right? Mixing, change. I think he probably long term he needs one more pitch that he can be effective with, so he can kind of play around it. But the guy is, I mean, he is. When you look at his size, his ability to throw at 96, 97 miles an hour, I mean, he's the prototypical pitcher for put him in a computer lab and, I mean, get him to throw a couple other pitches and be completely elite. I mean,
his confidence right now is just through the roof too. I was kind of shocked when Rob admitted a couple weeks ago when I was asking about Kerkering. He just happened to drop up Sanchez and saying, "Oh, he was kind of not being aggressive, kind of doubting himself a little bit." And I'm like, Christopher Sanchez, really? And then, he said once they got through him on that, he was a lot more aggressive. And I think we're seeing the results. He's aggressive with his fastball. He's aggressive with his changeup. And it's not surprising he's doing this.
And the other thing, I mean, if you look at the career, for example, of Luzardo, trust me, Luzardo is going to pitch much better than he's been pitching over the last 3 or 4 weeks. I mean, he's going to locate better. He's going to he goes through kind of the spells before, and then he comes in and he's completely lights out. So, look, who wants to face this team in the postseason? I mean, with that pitching staff.
I wouldn't.
A team with a lot of lefties.
There you go, Tyler.
Yeah,
the Houston Astros want to face this team. How's that?
So, look, we know Mick Abel is a trade chip. I mean, I hope he remains here. I think the other dynamic here is Nola. With regards to Nola, I mean, I don't know. Any one of you want to give an update on where Nola is?
Anthony, you're the Nola expert right now.
Oh, yeah, he interviewed him. He had a tremendous interview.
Why? Because I talk to him a lot.
Yeah.
No, he actually started throwing a little bit sooner than I thought. He was originally supposed to be probably in about another week or so before he did and actually started throwing. Sounds like he's doing okay. I still think you're looking at early August. It's probably another month before you see Aaron Nola back. I still submit that in the end, Aaron Nola is a starter in October. Now, he might be the fourth starter in a 4-man rotation in the playoffs, and you won't need that fourth starter unless you get to the NLCS, because the way that the schedule breaks out in the DS this year, there's an extra off day. Like they had that 2 years ago, if you remember, when they went 3 pitchers through the first 2 rounds. They 3 starters through the first 2 rounds because of that extra off day. So
you pitch the first game and then there's an off day and then you go the next day. Is that how it goes?
Yeah, there's an extra off day, and it alternates years, right? So last year the American League had it. This year the National League has it. So it just alternates years. So yes, there is that extra off day. So you really could go. You could go Wheeler, Ranger, Sanchez, Wheeler, Ranger. You know what I'm saying? Like you could do those guys for every start until you get to Game 4 of the NLCS.
Now I got dreams of Jesus Luzardo in the bullpen. I'm kind of
well. That's right now, Jeff. You bringing that up, but right now, if I said to you, you have to move one of the 3 lefties into the bullpen, which one are you moving?
Jesus Luzardo.
Now,
by the way, his
that's the
fastball, his fastball, curve, slider, changeup combination could be lethal. I think the only thing is control.
Yeah.
The control is the only thing that keeps me from like, let's do it tomorrow. He's going to kill me, but
yeah.
But look, it's the best problem you can ever have in your life. I mean, in this situation, you know what? Right. We'll worry about that in October. How about you, Ty? What will you do?
Yeah, I think this spoils. You said to get 3 predictions ready for the second half. This spoils one of mine, but I think near the end of the season, as they gear up for the playoffs, I think it's Luzardo who's going to end up in the bullpen, not in the way that it's like a demotion, but just like how we just mapped it out. You're going to need 3 starters there for that first round or 2, depending if Phillies win the division or win the wild card. And the way the other 2 lefties are pitching right now, they need to be starters. So I spoiled myself a little bit there, but I think Luzardo will be the one who ends up in the bullpen down the stretch and definitely in the playoffs.
Let's see. This continues to evolve as we go into this. I mean, Mick Abel, what a bad luck on Friday. I do believe the Braves. I don't know what happened there. The Braves are the ones that decided to go out and allow the pitchers to warm up, and then you have to wait 2 hours and 19 minutes. I mean, absolutely, it's a shame that he didn't have the opportunity to pitch. I thought he was going to be ready and was going to pitch much better than he has. As we mentioned last time, out of the 9 runs, 7 have been home runs, primarily solo home runs. So it's something that this kid has tremendous potential. I hope he remains in the organization. If he remains, he's going to be in the bullpen in the postseason potentially.
But you're right, Oscar. He is their biggest trade chip right now.
It is. I mean, he's a power arm with a tremendous curve. I mean, this kid is special. Now, here's kind of where we are with Andrew Painter. He's 22. He's not dominating yet. And look, the reality, this guy's coming from Tommy Young. So Tommy Young, I mean, his ability to locate pitches is not to the same level that it was before. Look, I wouldn't want to rush this kid. And if you have to wait, you wait. I mean, to me, ready is more important. Ready for the majors is more important than trying to rush him into the major leagues. I don't know. Your thoughts on this, guys? Tyler, you want to start?
Yeah, I think with just how well the rotation's been so far, and Mick Abel's been all right, I don't think there is any reason to rush Painter, unless there really is like a serious concern with performance for Mick Abel. But I think at this point, we don't really have to have him up right now. He can dictate when he comes up with his performance. And, I mean, you see he's giving up a few runs every game, but I know that the team is, having him throw certain pitches in certain scenarios. So, I don't even know if these numbers really mean much to me. I mean,
I think what it means is the number of innings to me.
Yeah.
He's not, what that means is he's pitching, he's throwing too many pitches to try to get outs. That's what that tells me.
I know Rob Thompson's comments this week kind of, I don't want to say raise some red flags, but I don't think too many people in the minor leagues exactly were too fond of those comments. I'll just say that.
Which was it? Can you brief us on the comment?
About, basically, do you guys remember what he exactly said? I heard it Friday. It was about, not that he's going to be coming up in July or something like that. I'm like paraphrasing it, but like he has to pitch his way up here or something like that.
Yeah, so when he's ready, he's ready. I mean, look, the reality is I wouldn't want to rush him. To me, this is your future. I mean, this kid is your Zach Wheeler, your Justin Verlander. I mean, this is your future. I mean, he's coming from Tommy Young. I wouldn't want him to force things. He's up to 40 innings in AAA, and he had 6 innings in Class A. I mean, I want him to go 7 innings at some point as he progresses, and I want him overpowering. I mean, number of strikeouts, 45 strikeouts in 40. If you go back and look at his record before then, I mean, it was significantly better than that. And I'm not saying that he needs to kind of overdo it, but I would like him to be much more effective. Let's put it that way.
At the same time, he's only going to have so many innings this year, and if you wait too long to bring him up, that's a lot of time. Don't want to say wasted in AAA, but if you think he can help it, you're kind of got to find that right line. If you think he can help, then gotta get him up at some point and make sure that not all of that production or all those pitches are used in AAA. But I think I agree. Don't want to rush him up, and still seems like there's some fine tuning to be done in the minor leagues because, what he should be able to help right now, but what he's able to do for the next 5, maybe even 10 years is going to be much more important because he projects as a future potential ace.
And once you bring him, he's a starter.
Yeah,
I mean, he needs to be a starter. So Are you going? I mean, Nola is coming. I mean, we're going to have a surplus of a starting pitching, and it's gonna the dynamic is gonna be very, very interesting. Okay, let's go to the two things that we were going to talk about for the next like 15 minutes or so. First half grade. So I know, Tyler, I don't have yours, so you'll be the judge, by the way.
Well, I was a lot more optimistic on hitting than you guys were.
Oh my. So let's go one by one. So Anthony, I mean, let's go line by line. So hitting, Jeff, you were the most optimistic with a B, and we were all C's. I mean, Tyler, how would you what would you have graded it?
Hitting, I would do C. I mean,
smart guys. He's a smart guy.
But they're just so inconsistent, you know. And I think a big thing too is, you know, power is just down throughout the league. So that is definitely an evaluation point, whether that is with the Phillies or just the league in general. But they're so inconsistent, you know.
I just think the lineup is. I'm not optimistic about most of the lineup, but maybe because I know their first half grades, but it kind of speaks volumes to me somehow that this team is top 10 run scorer because they really shouldn't be. They really shouldn't be, and they're good at. They hit for average. They don't hit for power, which bothers me. They have a high OPS. When I look at a lot of the numbers, it's top 10. So it's just hard for me to give that. Maybe B- would have been more.
I mean,
fair.
you have three players that are above everybody else, and then you get kind of the middle pack with Baum and Castellanos, the way they've been hitting this year, and then you have the bottom of the order, which needs to be much more productive for me to give them a B.
Can I say something about Alec Bohm? I know that he's right around league average.
Been hit a lot better than that.
By the way, it's because he started very bad. That's part of the reason.
All right. But here's where I want to go with this. Like, he did start poorly. There's no doubt. And then he hit very well for a stretch. This week was not good. I think I would say probably the last couple weeks he's been he's been mediocre. The guy just, to me, he's more because he's like a singles hitter all of a sudden, right? And he's not productive enough. So if he was hitting, I think it was 150 on April 15th, I believe was the date. I could be slightly wrong on that.
April 18th. It was 152 or something like that.
Okay, April 18th. All right, fine. So you're basically 3 weeks into the season, all right? Since then, so how many weeks have there been since then? Oscar, you had the weeks up earlier, right? So you had 4 weeks in May, 4 weeks in June, and two more weeks in April.
He pretty much had 10 weeks.
So he's had 10. He's had 10 weeks since. Okay, so he's had 10 weeks since that bad start. Okay, and 3 weeks he was a bad start. Like, you're still at 710 OPS.
Look, and look how was he's hitting against lefties. 703 against lefties.
Like, it's just not good enough, right? I look at Alec Bohm's numbers and I go, if I didn't have his name and the position that he played listed, and it was just player X, and I looked at those numbers, I'd go, that's your 7 or 8 hitter, probably plays second base or center field
or the draft pick status at number 3 overall.
Right. So that's what I'm trying to say. Like, I'm not impressed enough with even how he's hit lately over the last 10 weeks. I still don't think it's enough. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm a little bit harder on him than most people are. But if you're an everyday third baseman and he's been batting third for a month because Harper's not been in the lineup, you've got to be more productive than 7.
I agree with that.
Yeah, for sure.
You just do.
And then another member of the lineup, like penciled in there most every day, doesn't always play against lefties, but, you know, talking about the offense and disappointments, Bryson Stott has looked, you know, we were kind of, Rob Thompson talked about this arm injury coming into the year and thought that affected him last season. Now, for 3 out of his 4 seasons, he's been mostly the same player at the plate, and he had the outlier 2023 where he was better, a little bit above league average in production, but for the most part, he's around this like 80 to 85 OPS plus range. That is probably more around where he is, and they moved him up to the leadoff spot earlier in the year, and it didn't work out because he just wasn't getting on base. And I think that is a spot that, if you're the Phillies, you wish you had more out of that, and you wish he was hitting more, and you wish he was getting on base more, and it hasn't happened. And JT Realmuto has had some regression, and the middle to like bottom middle of the lineup just feels super thin at a lot of points. Just not production that you wish you had if you're the team.
The one thing, Ty, that I think the one reason why I'm not as hard on Stott as maybe I am is on Bohm is because of where he plays. Right?
Sure.
You're he's not expected to be the big OPS guy at second base, right? He's just not. Do I wish he was better? 100%. I'm with you on that. But at the same time, I look at what Bohm is as a player, and I say there has to be more there than we're seeing, and
sure.
it just leaves a little bit to be desired. That's all.
Yeah. And Stott, much better fielder at a different position, great base runner in a way that Bohm isn't. But I still think that's notable in a way that the Phillies, the team, sort of talked about reasons why there might be a step forward, and it's just not there. And he's hardly the only player that has either not made improvements that they could have or should have, or even steps back. So I think that's, even though the numbers, some of them are like top 10, why we graded the offense kind of poorly, because if you take every single piece apart, like it just feels like
bottom of the order is the problem.
And maybe that's how I should have graded it, like you guys did. And to add to your point, Ty, I remember before the season I was talking to people, and it was in the organizations about Stott and Marsh, and they were really hoping Stott was going to go to the 2023 version, and that it was the elbow injury. And I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, I think I've seen enough where 23 is the outlier. And they said, well, we'll see. And I think they were. Yeah, I don't know.
And Marsh overall, his overall stats, they're getting back to hovering around league average, but the way he started the season just put him in such a hole that overall I think that's a disappointment, especially the way he's hit the last couple of seasons prior. Just have a bunch of guys that it feels like they probably need to be giving more.
See, this is my football mentality when I gave the B grade. I'm looking at the team and what the team is doing, but when you guys dissect it there, I probably should have changed.
I mean, it's the entire batting order. I mean, so I think we're all agree that we have the top three hitters have done their part. I mean, outside of Harper being injured, and he's not been as hot as we would ideally all wanted him so far. But look, we all believe we know who Harper is and what he's capable of doing, and he's going to do it in the second half of the year. Starting pitching, I think we will all agree. I mean, A++. I mean, where did you put the A-? That's an interesting number.
Well, I went A- for
Aaron, A- for Aaron.
Well, so Aaron Nola, I mean, let's be honest. Aaron Nola did not have a good start before he got hurt.
Nope.
Luzardo had those two starts where he was terrible. And he did the start against the Marlins wasn't even that great either. Let's be honest about that.
Yep.
Mick Abel just had a bad start. Taijuan Walker was okay, but just okay when he was starting. It's not like it's been all wine and roses for the starting pitching. There has been a few bumps, but overall, the other four guys, or the other three guys at the top, and then mostly Luzardo, have been so good that you say, all right, it's still an A grade, but there's a few starts that knock it down just a hair.
Good.
Yeah, I took it more as like the way they were able to sort of overcome an ineffective and unavailable Nola sort of made my grade even higher, because that almost didn't even affect them, which I thought was one of the bigger accomplishments of the first half, because Nola, you could always pencil him in to make all these starts, and they do, obviously at some points you wish you had that if you're the team, but for the most part, I thought they were able to navigate that really, really, really well.
Ranger missing the first month and Aaron Nola just not being good. I would never guess that this starting pitching would be as good as they were. So
We got the second best ERA in all baseball. So let's among starters. So let's
and number one in WAR.
and number one
Starters
award. Relief pitching. Tyler, start us there. Where would you see relief pitching?
Yeah, I would go with D. I would hope that or I would have hoped going into this that Jose Alvarado would have still been around. Maybe I would have given it a C- then. But it's just really been uninspiring. I mean, there's still guys in this bullpen that we came into the year thinking they would be fine that may not even make it to the end of the year. So yeah, I think D is a generous rating, and I'd probably leave it at that for now.
Jeff just grades on a curve. That's all there is.
Yeah, I agree. Well, maybe I'm giving a little bit more credit to Ryan Kirkering for actually being really good and compared to everybody else. But yeah, it's look. I've been kind of underwhelmed with the middle relief. I'll just say that. I don't know what to make of Joe Ross. I don't know what to make of Tanner Banks. I like Tanner Banks a lot. Don't know what to make of him.
I'll give Tanner Banks credit. Like,
he grinds.
For what he is, he's been better than I thought he was going to be.
Yeah.
So he's one of the reasons I didn't fail the bullpen, because I'm like, okay, well, when I looked at it and broke it down, Kirkering's been great, but Tanner Banks looked at it, I was like, you know what, this guy's actually been better than I thought he was going to be. It doesn't mean I think he's sensational, but he's been better than I thought he was going to be.
Of course, yeah. I also saved part of this bullpen grade for our roster construction. Where I went a little lower than you guys.
Look, I mean, from my view, there's only one arm that I could tell you that is a reliable arm in that bullpen that I would definitely throw in, and it's called Ryan Kirkering. Everything else is pray. I mean, it's just cross your fingers and pray and make sure they deliver. I mean, look at the game today. I mean, did you feel comfortable that we were going to win this game, winning by one run?
No.
I mean,
I am one of those people. To me, maybe it's just my mentality. It shouldn't be hard to get 3 outs, but for this team, it is.
And I do agree that Tanner Banks have played a better role than I probably expected him to be. He's good. He's really good against lefties, but he's not a lefty specialist. I mean, in this team, he did a great job coming in on Friday, but he's been, inconsistent like everybody else. So, look, Jeff, C+, my goodness. I mean, on Ryan Kirkering, I got to give him all the credit in the world there. The bench, I think we all put C. I guess primarily because of Mundito. And then Rafael Marchand, he's been okay. I mean, he hasn't he won us the Atlanta game, which was pretty important. I mean, winning a game against Atlanta, but so it's a complex. It's a complex dynamic there with regards to the bench. I do believe I'm a big believer in having that guy that can come in and take an at-bat at the right time and be a pinch hitter. I mean, this is how baseball used to be. I mean, you used to bring all these pinch hitters that could come in and win you a game. I mean,
that also was when the pitcher was hitting. There's so many platoons now. It's so hard to grade a bench these days.
Yeah, I agree. Let's not spend too much time there. Tyler, managing and coaching.
Well, this one's tough because a lot of times when you're really basing this grade, it is on the manager itself. And there hasn't been a lot of questionable calls that I've seen from Rob recently. I mean, there's been a few, but every manager has that. But I guess you really have to look into, like Kevin Long and how that's going. But how much of an impact does he actually have on the guys swinging the bats? So I think B is probably a fair assessment of where I would put it, just because there hasn't been the same results that I would have expected going in. But again, it's so hard for me to really blame that on members of the coaching staff.
Let's talk 1 second about Topper. I mean, look, I think we all love Topper, and I don't know, somebody was saying one of the WP shows today, which I appreciate. I mean, that he might be in the hot seat. Look,
what hot seat?
If this team, look, somebody mentioned it. I mean, I'm not saying it was not me, but look, I think Topper is the right manager for this team. The reality is that he's playing with what he has. Does he sometimes make certain decisions that I don't necessarily agree with? That's normal, right? I mean, like, for example, I would not have closed the game in Houston with Rojas and Kennedy. And I do understand that he had left-handed bats. Look, I take Marchand ahead of some of the guys that hit there. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Some of those decisions, and I know what he's making those decisions. And one of the things that I truly appreciate on him is how he empowers his guys. I want to give him confidence. But the reality there, you have the game on the line. You lost 2 major games in a row, no scoring a run, and you need to produce. I would have made maybe some changes.
I think I still say too many people focus on Johan Rojas and how bad he is when the whole offense was bad. You had, like, to me, there's 9 innings in a baseball game. They had runners on base the inning before and they couldn't get them.
But are we 100% sure, especially in the situation with the Astros, that he's 100% in control of these decisions? You know,
I mean,
like,
I'm sure the
do
analytics
they
team
talk about this like before the game or before the series? Like, these are the matchups that we want.
Yeah,
this is what you should do.
Tyler, I'm 100% convinced that that decision is made long before the game, right? That if Hader's in there at the end, this is the order of ranking of the hitters as we have them, and they probably had all 3 lefties behind both those guys. And it's stupid, but I think that that's really what it is.
And you see how much like Kemp struggled against Hader, and then you see like Buddy Kennedy and Johan Rojas up next, and it's like, in my minds, I feel like he would make that decision to put someone else in. I mean, Marsh.
Bring Wheeler. I mean,
I would have picked Kemp against Hader, honestly.
Yeah.
Just for what you said. He's just terrible.
Here's the thing, though, guys, and this is why I went with a B+. We got to avoid Jeff's grade again on a curve. But
they are in first place, and they're still.
Well, and that's what I was going to support you a little bit here, Jeff. I'm going to support you a little bit here. Let's remember that with the inconsistent hitting and with an absolutely awful bullpen, this team still has 49 wins and is in first place.
That's why it's an A.
Somebody has to be doing something right? And yes, we know it's the starting pitching. They've been great. They've been fantastic. But a manager and his coaching staff deserve credit for keeping a team in that spot, minus your best player for a month, minus a guy who was one of your top pitchers in your rotation for basically the year. I know he's been out for 2 months, but he was not good beforehand. So, like, you got to give the manager and I think Caleb Cotham, like, if we were to break them out individually, I would give Caleb Cotham an A, right?
Absolutely.
So I think he might pull the grade up a little bit. I don't get into the nitty gritty of managerial decisions in game because you're always going to debate with a manager. You always are. But as a manager of this group of people, I've liked the way that Rob has managed them.
Me too.
He did the right thing with Nick Castellanos when that thing imploded, and then he sat him for a game, ended his streak. That tells you that he's in charge and he's running the ship. And then the team came out and played okay after that, right? Like, it's not like it cratered the clubhouse. I give him a lot of credit for how he manages the team. I think that's why I have a higher grade on that than most people.
I thought he handled the Kepler stuff well too the other day.
Yeah,
I think he managed it like he normally does. I mean, very polite, very straightforward and polite. And I love when he said there are things that need to be kept inside. So he sent him a teaching moment. It was a teaching moment there for Kepler. You cannot, I mean, you cannot speak your mind out when you are, it's all about performance. I mean, at the end of the day, that's the challenge with baseball. It's all about performance. Now, roster construction. And look, there's dynamics here that are very, very important. You're already starting with a very, very high payroll. And that limits how much flexibility you have. But the reality is that this team, like any other team, has flaws. And I think we should give credit where credit is due. I thought the Luzardo acquisition was a brilliant move. I mean, it was brilliant. I mean, an A+.
That's why move. My grade is not an F because of him.
On the other hand, I mean, look, the Romano decision. I mean, you Esteves and Hoffman left, and I do understand they left because of money. I get that part, but the reality is, so your hands are tied with the limited resources that you have, and
you need to bring a guy like Romano and expect that Alvarado is going to be the better version of Alvarado this year, which we got in the beginning of the year, and unfortunately happened. The suspension happened, but I do believe that we were missing an arm coming into this year, and we expected too much of Kerkering, Strom, and look, the reality is that he's hand tied with money. I mean, that's kind of the reality. We're we have the fourth highest paid role in all baseball.
This is my thing, and whether I think they're right or not, the fact that they just don't give relief pitchers in free agency more than 1 year, that's one of the reasons why Jeff Hoffman is not back. That is one of the reasons why Carlos Estevez is not back. And you were able to go get Jordan Romano with that, and you signed Joe Ross with that. And it made the bullpen worse. So, yeah, we're talking about they're going to have to give up prospects for bullpen pieces. So that's one of the reasons why I gave it the D. And let's not even get into the Max Kepler stuff.
Yeah, so I went C- for this reason, guys. Like I don't have, obviously Luzardo we all are in agreement on. At the time, I didn't have a problem with Romano being a guy that you're taking a chance on. My thought on that was I'm fine with him, but there needs to be another arm, and there wasn't. Right. And so that was why I was like, okay, they left the bullpen and arm short in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't particularly opposed at the time to Kepler as a player. Obviously, he's not been the right
you
fit.
Needed a righty.
I didn't think that he was the right fit for what they needed. And so like I was like, okay, I'm okay with Max Kepler. I'm just not okay with them not getting a right-handed bat.
I was told that they thought they were going to get the 2023 version of Max Kepler that had an OPS in the 800s, and I'm with you, Anthony. I just didn't see it.
Yeah, it was just that's so to me, it was more about the approach, not necessarily the players. And the two of the three players haven't worked out. I get it. But it was not about, my complaint about it, it was not the players specifically, but the approach that he took in the offseason.
Ty?
Yeah, I'm in a similar boat. They went at the end of last season, heading into free agency. They do make the Luzardo move and they boost the rotation, and that's why it feels a little funny to say, like, oh, they have a poor grade on roster construction because they have a good team with a ridiculously good rotation, but they went into the offseason needing a right-handed hitting outfielder and at least one arm in the bullpen, and they came into this season still needing both those things, and they're going to need to trade presumably prospects to go out and do it instead of signing them with just money. So yeah, that's where it falls short to me.
You go with this, Tyler, in terms of
I mean, C- is definitely where I'm going. And I think the one big thing too is all these acquisitions that we got this year, they all came off of injuries, all four of them. And I mean, if you told me we got Romano and someone else, or we got Ross and someone else, at least you can take the risk of having the one that might not work out. But yeah, I mean, they were all wild cards. And then you pick up Hernandez, who was awful, and Ruiz regressed. And I don't know. It's a mess. And I'm tired of giving up prospects and for relievers. I mean, I still think that Estevez trade, someone in that trade is going to bite back on us. But I don't know. It's just, what else can you do? We just got to move on.
I kept saying they had to bring back at least one Hoffman or Estevez, and it was never going to be Hoffman. And for some reason,
it's a money decision. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a money decision. There is a
but that's what bothers me. You're paying Nick Castellanos $20 million.
No, you're paying Taijuan Walker. I mean, a significant amount of money. I mean, that's part of the problem.
And another bad signing.
So let's go our predictions for the second half, kind of as the last part.
If you guys don't mind, if I can go first, only because I have to bounce, because I have to go on Jeff Kerr, CBS. I have to go on CBS in about 5 minutes. So I got to jump your predictions.
Are you on McGowan tonight?
Yes. I'm going on with Pat Gallen tonight. Yeah. So anyway, you wanted 3 predictions for the second half. Here are the 3 that I'm going to give you. One that I think that probably a lot of people will support. Even though Paul Skeens exists in the National League, I'm going to predict Zach Wheeler wins the Cy Young in the second half of the season with another great year. A great second half of the season, ends up at the Cy Young. Secondly, at the halfway point, the Phillies were on pace to have one player hit 20 home runs this season. Obviously, Kyle Schwarber's already got 25, but nobody else had double digits at the halfway point. I'm going to tell you that I think 3 more guys get there. I think Harper coming back, I think he'll get there. I think Trey Turner will ultimately get there. And yes, he will hit a home run at Citizens Bank Park at some point. And I think Nick Castellanos will get to 20. I think that you're starting to see a slight uptick in his slug. I think he gets there. So that those 3 guys will also break 20. And my last one is that the guy, I know the Phillies are going to go out and make a move at the deadline for a relief pitcher, at least 1, maybe 2. The guy that they're going to rely on to close games in the playoffs is neither of those players that they're going to acquire. It's going to be somebody who is currently in the organization.
All right.
Not saying it's going to be. I'm not certain it's Kerkering either. It might,
but it will be someone. Yeah.
Hey,
but it will be
someone.
It might be. It's going to be someone who's already here.
Internal
is going to be closing games in October.
Could be Andrew Painter.
Wow.
Could be. We'll see.
Fantasy Island. Anthony, thank you so much, brother.
Thanks guys.
Anthony.
Appreciate you.
Yeah.
How about you, Ty?
All right, yeah. As I mentioned before, one of my predictions we spoiled earlier, but I think Jesus Luzardo is going to be the one who ends up in the bullpen out of the starters. I think that'll probably happen, down the stretch just to get him used to it, and then in the playoffs, he's going to be a full go. That's my prediction. Second prediction is I think Justin Crawford is going to end up starting at some point for the Phillies. I don't know if that means he's a full-time starter all the way through the playoffs, but I think we're going to see at least an extended run, maybe similar to the way Rojas came up in 2023. And I think we're going to see Crawford in center field for the Phillies. I have a feeling I might have stole that from Jeff. Hopefully not.
That's all right. I was going to drop something, but go ahead, Ty. I'll play politically correct, and I'll just go with your prediction.
Here's the third. This one's more of a bold prediction for the second half that I think is a little bit out of left field. I think that Jose Alvarado is going to lead all Phillies relievers in second half relief innings. I think when he comes back from suspension, he is going to come in there and be a bullpen workhorse and come in and realize that his way after the suspension to contribute to the team is to make sure these other arms go into the playoffs fresh. So I think, especially because the Phillies have a team option on him, they can afford to just give him the ball and see how it goes. And
so what is the prediction with Alvarado?
That he's going to lead all Phillies relievers in second half innings out of the bullpen. He's going to be I think he's going to be their workhorse, and they're going to hand him the ball a ton to keep these other guys fresh.
You got 6 weeks. I like it. I like it.
Yeah, he's going to be behind by a couple weeks, and I think probably he'll have a rehab stint. Again, this is a bold prediction. We'll see how it goes, but I think they're going to give him the ball and just kind of let him eat and take down big innings to let the other relievers stay fresh.
How about you, Tyler?
Well, some of mine have already been taken. But the first one I have is it's going to be the opposite of Anthony. A reliever not on the team will lead the team in saves, but not from his previous employer or team, I should say. But he will lead in Phillies saves for the season.
What does that mean? Chapman coming in, or somebody from another team coming in and leading the team?
Yeah, someone from another team. I do not want to predict who yet. I think it's still way too soon to figure out who that could be, but someone else will.
Scouts are out there, though.
They are. Next, only one of Ross, Romano, and Kepler will be on the roster at the end of the season. I don't know who, but only one of those 3. And my third prediction, and this might be pretty bold as well, but I think in September, Painter will be in the bullpen getting ready for October. And I think that he will have save opportunities as well. So I think Andrew Painter will pick up one save.
Look at that. That's a bold one. I like that.
Well, if you're going to move a couple of these guys into the bullpen for the postseason, I think there has to be a transition period in September, especially if you're right about to clinch or you have clinched. So I think that they might transition a few of them at the end of the year.
Interesting. Jeff?
I'm really not sure Max Kepler is going to be on this team come October. I'm not even sure. I'm really not sure if he's going to be on this team come August at this rate. I this is around the time they got rid of Whit Merrifield, and Whit Merrifield was a good guy, and they got rid of him. So what are they going to do with the guy who they're not happy with his comments? So, I'll piggyback with Ty here. Justin Crawford will be on the team this week at some point. I'm not going to tell you the day. But I also think he'll be starting center fielder for this team in the postseason in October. I think that's going to happen. And if I got to go another one, I'll say Ryan Kerkering and whoever they add in the bullpen. I think they will add two people. They will be their shutdown guys in the 8th and 9th inning come October.
Okay. My predictions, the Phillies are going to win 95 games, and they're going to blow away the Mets to win the National League East. So that's prediction number one. Number two, that you guys talked about Cy Young. I do believe Wheeler is going to be the Cy Young, but I'll give you another one. I think Ranger Suarez is making the All-Star game, and he's going to win his first Gold Glove.
I was going to let you take the All-Star game one, Oscar, because I believe he's an All-Star.
The All-Star game, and then the last prediction that I'll give you, Trey Turner is going to lead the National League in average in hits this year.
And he's already leading it, so there you go.
Will Smith has an average of 318. Trey Turner's at
sorry, I meant shortstops. My bad.
Yeah. He'll lead the National League in hitting and hits. He's leading. He has 100 hits right now and an average of 296. And in terms of hits, he's number one. Number two is Ohtani with 94. So he's leading by 6 hits. And he's also going to be the batting average champion for the Phillies. That's or not for the Phillies, for the National League. So those are my predictions for the second half. I do believe this team. I believe in this team. I believe in Dombrowski. I think Dave. I believe in Topper. This team is going to have another look. When you have a starting rotation the way we have it, the opportunity for winning a World Series is going to be there. And look, Harper, Schwarber, Turner, hopefully. Together with a great starting rotation, will lead us to the promised land.
Do we all agree they're going to be aggressive at the trade deadline?
I agree.
Yeah, I actually think that they're going to end up making a trade for a controllable asset at the trade deadline as well this year, similar to what they did with Marsh and O'Hoppe.
Couple more slides here for us to discuss. We have here the players of the week. None other than Justin Crawford needed to be the player of the week. I mean, like we didn't know, right? We didn't know it was going to be Justin Crawford. So, look, the reality, he deserves it. This week, he played in 5 games, 318 average, 3 doubles, a home run, 4 runs, 3 RBIs, 360 on base percentage, and an OPS of 951. And on the season, I mean, he's having an unbelievable season. 335 average in 64 games. I mean, he's scored 50 runs. That's hard to do. Scoring 50 runs in 64 games, it is not easy to do. He's not a power guy. I mean, that's the reality of it. I mean, he hit his second home run this week.
I'll tell
he's
you what,
not a power guy. And the other thing is we need to keep we need to understand. I mean, he has 26 stolen bases, but he's been out 7 times. So he can run, I mean, without a doubt, but it's a learning process. He's only 21 years old.
But you want to see him be aggressive on the base pass too, which is very good.
Absolutely. And then the other thing we need to understand is he's no Johan Rojas in center field. Okay? Yeah. He's no Johan Rojas. He's a good fielder. He uses his speed. I mean, my friend Steve Porter has clearly stated to me a number of times, the guy can run every ball in the outfield, but it's important to understand that he doesn't have the same kind of reaction to the ball, and he needs to continue learning to become the best version of himself. So it's not a final product we're getting here. It's just like we would be getting Painter now. It's a learning in progress, and we need to manage the expectations.
I hate to compare him to his dad because it's not fair to him. But if the Phillies ever got a 4-time All-Star out, Justin Crawford, I think they would take it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, absolutely. The two honorable mentions this week. But by the way, just so for perspective, I mean, and Steve provided this data for me. He leads the International League with a 409 OPS. And he also leads the International League in average. He's leading the International League. Hold on.
League, right?
He's leading the league in average, and he's 7th in OPS with 409. So, and he's first in the league in hits, runs scored, and 30 in stolen bases. So, look, the guy's talented. There's no doubt about it.
He's good.
The guy's good, and hopefully he'll come to the team and bring a spark to the team. Honorable mentions this week: Felix Reyes, which was our player of the week last week. He hit 375 this week with 2 doubles and a home run. He's hitting 318. And then the other one is we hear consistently the name of Dante Nori, which was our first round pick. He hit this week 353. He hit 353 for the month of June. Look, the guy is talking the part. Here's our pitcher of the week, Alex McFarland. His numbers for the year are not there, but he's coming back from Tommy Young, and he has a very, very good arm, and it's something that we're going to have to keep our eye on. Again, he's coming back from Tommy Young surgery that he had in September 23, but he had 5 hitless innings, and his scoreless innings this week with 9 strikeouts and 2 base on balls, and the guy has some talent in him that we need to keep our eye on. Honorable mention this week: a right-hander pitcher, Giuseppe Velasquez, a 22-year-old guy. He pitched 5 innings, not allowing a run and 4 hits in relief on Friday, and he's with Clearwater. So again, we're gonna do a show probably in the next 2 or 3 weeks that is going to be focusing on the minor league system of the Phillies, so we can know everyone there and kind of the top talents and maybe rank the guys. And we're going to have some special guests coming over and talking about the Phillies minor league system and what we are there. Here's the week. So the last slide. I don't know your thoughts, guys. I mean, on the bottom right-hand side, you have where each team is ranked in hitting, runs per game, and ERA. And you're going to see, look, the next 2 weeks are not easy by any means. I mean, these teams are, you can see here, San Diego, we face them twice, and San Francisco. They are big-time pitching teams. Maybe the best team that, from a hitting standpoint, is the Cincinnati Reds that are 10th in baseball. But these are not easy. So we're playing 3 games against San Diego, 3 games against Cincinnati at home, and then we go on the road prior to the All-Star game in San Francisco and San Diego, and we have Wheeler going on tomorrow. Tyler, is there a pitcher announced for San Diego yet? Or
yeah, it's Matt Waldron, the knuckleballer.
Okay,
he's
a knuckleballer.
He's been in the minor leagues all year, but last year he pitched 7 innings with 1 run against us.
Oh my! I heard that before.
So this team won't hit for 3 weeks after this.
Yeah.
And then they have their 2 of their big pitchers, Favera, which has been pitching completely lights out, and Cease. And then we got Abbott that have been pitching lights out, Lodolo, which is lefty, and I don't know that much about Burns. So
he had a pretty good debut the other night.
Yeah, I don't know enough about Burns, but
was he tied number 2 prospect overall in baseball?
I think so.
Oh, I know who we were talking about, the African American kid. Yeah, is it the African American kid?
Yeah,
he throws hard. I mean, I know who you're talking about, but I don't. And again, I haven't followed him too much, but
he's second overall pick in 2024.
Okay, so my question to you guys: when you look at this schedule, I mean, it's a pretty rough schedule that the Phillies have coming up.
It gets easier after the break, though.
This is a test. They're all NL contenders coming up here, so it's a pretty big test.
So maybe, one thing that I like this week, I mean, and this is the last thing that I mentioned, is how we came out hitting or playing on Friday. We came out of that dugout after the rainout with our head on fire, And I mean, starting with Turner and how Schwarber looked, everybody looked very, very aggressive when we were out there. And look, it definitely worked out. I mean, it definitely worked out. I think that's why some of the move that we might be seeing over the next few days pan out if they happen. But what Harper, they might want Harper back because we need to finish the year at a high note, or the half prior to the All-Star game in a high note. So any final thoughts, guys, on this? How are you seeing it, Tyler?
Yeah, I'm just seeing it as a continuation of what we saw with the Braves, some solid pitching. But we just need a hit. So I don't know. I'm not too concerned about it. We've won a lot of one-run games, so I feel like that'll continue this week. If I had to guess where we'd be at, I would go with 3-3.
Okay. How about you, Ty?
For this homestand, I think they can go 4-2 here. Get some wins back at home, and
we need to get back into the winning column here. I mean, after the last few days that we've had. So
yeah, and it'll be interesting. Seems like whether it's tomorrow or a little bit later, seems like Bryce is going to be back soon. So maybe that provides a little bit of spark for the whole team.
That's good.
There was a flash sale going on last week. You could have bought tickets for pretty much a lot cheaper than what you normally would from the Phillies website. I think fans should have took advantage of that. That's all I got to say.
Absolutely. Ty, where can we follow you on social media, and both you and the wonderful people at Phillies Nation?
Yeah, you can follow me at Ty Daubert. It's up here on the screen, and follow us at Phillies Nation. Check us out on PhilliesNation.com. And yeah, always have lots of stuff up on the team. We have different recaps and analysis and feature stories, both Phillies and the minor league. So check us out. And Oscar, thanks for having me on.
Thank you, Ty. Thank you so much. Tyler, where can we follow you and the wonderful work that you do at Phil's Tailgate?
Yeah, it's just at Phil's Tailgate on Twitter, Instagram. I was saying Blue Sky, but I'm really not posting there. But I am on there if you want to follow me on there too.
I'll leave you this one here that Merrick sent us here. Wheeler won't pitch on the All-Star game since on is scheduled to pitch Sunday before All-Star game.
Yeah, if that's so far away, that could change too.
Yeah, and look, I wouldn't want him to pitch in the All-Star game either. I mean, so I want him to be nominated to the All-Star game, but hopefully he can give ways to Rangers. So,
but we'll see. Like I think Rangers should make it anyway, regardless. He's good enough. Like,
yeah, no, I agree.
I don't want to hear he missed April.
I wholeheartedly agree with that. Jeff, Tyler, thank you guys. I mean, it's truly a pleasure to be with all of you. Thank you for joining us today. A pretty eventful week. I mean, 2-4, but the good news, and I like how Jeff started the program. We won 2 out of 3 from the Braves, and those games within the division, they're worth double. So that's a great thing. Thank you guys, and have a wonderful week, and God bless, and looking forward to see you at the ballpark. Take it easy, guys. We'll look forward to next week. We'll do it next Sunday, and we'll have some very surprise special guests, just like Tyler, and we have Anthony. Thank you, Anthony, for always being there for us, man. Take it easy, guys. Have a great week.
See you guys.
Bye-bye.
Lanzamiento, aquí viene un batazo de Mundito entre right center field, la bola pica, se extiende, viene anotando Stott, empata el juego, también manda para la bola Turner anota y los Phillies se van arriba. Se prepara, Mundito en segunda, el lanzamiento, batazo profundo para el center field, la bola se va, Schwarber bomb, campanazo. Aquí viene el lanzamiento. Swing y